Hello, welcome back to Man Cave Hobbies. So, what is today's episode about? Well, guys, the drone guys, I'm sorry, it's another train video. I do have some exciting news coming. I have the Shark Bite system coming from Fat Shark. It's just being shipped. I think it's in Japan right now. It's being shipped to me. So, I probably should have that by next weekend, I hope, because there's something very, very special to that. It's not, I'm getting something that the other reviewers are not getting because I did have a hand in developing it. But today's video is an actual train video. So for the train guys, today's about ballasting and what I used on my lattice work, my elevated railroad that I made out of lattice, basically a lattice framework to it, and how to sift it because I'm using quarry fines. So there's a lot of sand in there. I had to get rid of the sand to keep the size of gravel that I wanted. And the screen that I'm using on my layout is 1/8 galvanized. And so I had to come up with a sifter in order to be, in order to get the gravel that I'm looking for to be the proper size. For the drone guys out there, ballast is basically what the railroad uses to build up the railroad bed to support the train as it goes by, keep the ties and everything in place. And also it helps with derailments. And it really helped me out. In fact, it saved this right here. It saved it huge. I had a friend come over, he had his boy, and he was playing around with the bridge when we weren't paying attention, and he didn't close the bridge properly, so the locomotive did derail. And if it wasn't for the screen and the ballast, this thing would have probably went between the 2x4 pieces right into the ground, or at least it got stuck and probably damaged the front end and whatever not. So the ballast, because it was there, once this thing became derailed, it just stopped the locomotive in its tracks. So it really, really did work well. Because I'm worried about drainage, because where we live, we have a lot of winter. In fact, you're going to see that at the end of the video. I'm gonna actually be plowing snow because I put the plow on the front of the K28, and I'm actually plowing snow today, and it worked really, really well. I was surprised by it, and I'll show that. So I'm going to show what I came up with, the sifter that I kind of designed and just came up with, made out of a paint bucket and some screen, and how well it worked. So stay tuned. Okay, so today I'm back out here with the layout. And the thing about the layout is, as you can see, I have the screen meshing. Okay, and how I built this is real simple. I took a piece of siding I got from Home Depot, and they come in 8-foot widths, so it's actually 8 foot. Cut them in half, they're $8 a piece, and they come in 16-foot lengths. And then I just use treated lumber that goes between them. Okay, pretty simple stuff. And then I use these fender washers here to level up the track and stuff. I got a good deal on the fender washers, so like some of them will need 2, some of them will need 1, so on and so forth. But then I wanted to put ballast in, so here's what I did with the ballast. So the ballast is chonkanite, and this is actually the same stuff as this. So you can see I got it everywhere. It packs really nice. This is the same stuff that B&N SF uses on the real railroad. So all this is the fines. They don't want the fines at B&N, so this is just the fines here. That's what it looks like when it's dry. Okay. And with the fines, the problem with the fines is that they also include a lot of sand. And so basically a 5-gallon bucket, half of it's going to be, well, actually I'd say about 1/3 of it's going to be sand, and about 2/3 of it's going to be something I can actually use. Now, I measured up the rock on this, okay? And I went down to the real railroad and I measured up the rock that they have down there. And I noticed the real railroad has everything from 3-inch to 2-inch to 1-inch that they're using, the same stuff, chonkanite. And so if you look at the rocks here onto the ties right here, it equals out about the same. So it's pretty prototypical as well. The problem is trying to sift this stuff through so I can put it in here. Now the whole idea with this is I want to have drainage. So in the summertime, in the springtime when it rains real hard, I want all of this to drain so it doesn't rot the wood, so it doesn't rot the layout here. Now these are painted, the siding here is painted about 4 times with a sprayer and then cut in half, and then I went back with a roller. I plugged up all of the holes that I used, as you can see here.
And I still need to go back and I sand these, and I still need to put a final paint on the outside here. So that's what's going on with the layout. So what I did is I created this thing, and all it is a 5-gallon paint can. It's got mesh in it, it's got all thread, and then I got 5/16 inch nuts, washer, lock washer. Same thing on the inside, same thing on the lid, right here and right here. And I just suspended this with this old wheelbarrow that's got a crack in it. It's all broken up anyway. So I just drilled a hole in the top here, drilled a hole on the top, double nutted it so it can't, you know, can't tighten itself up. For the door, all I did is I took a piece of aluminum, I got it from Home Depot, just bent it using a propane container, and then I built a hitch on it. So you can see here it would hitch, and it stays pretty solid too. And then I just used 2 hinges here. So I dump it in, and I just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then you end up with sand, and also the smaller gravel that I really don't want. So I'll show you how to do that. You can do about 1/3 of a 5-gallon bucket at a time. Okay, so I got my 5-gallon buckets. That's the sand left over from about 8 buckets load. I'll keep that because I'm going to use it for other things. So what I do on this is I just simply fill it up. So the first one is to stabilize this. So it stabilizes it like this. Okay, so we got it pretty stable here. Okay, so I can just take my bucket and then just pour it in there. All right. And then I won't fill it up all the way. Close the lid. You end up with some rocks, okay? Mostly sand, but some rocks, okay? Not a whole lot, but some. So it depends on what you want. If you want something that's got a lot of sand in it, that's fine. It'll lock it in a little bit better, and then you can come back with water, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so to empty it out, I just use a paint tray. Pretty simple little device here. And I can just, I'm trying to do this one-handed, so please forgive me. Okay. So now we got the pan here. And then I just go over to the layout, and I just pour it in like a side dump, basically. Okay, so you can see I filled it up here. Okay, just like this. Then I take a 2-inch paintbrush, and I just whisk it away. Trying to expose the ties. I look for any low spots that need to be filled in here. Okay, as you can see, I got pretty good. There's a little bit of sand in there. Okay, a little bit of sand. So then I come back with the wand, and I just clean it. And I just clean it until the water is clean. And you can also use this, you know, just low power to kind of clean the rails off and stuff. And you can kind of move it around some of the gravel so that it's off the track. It kind of settles it too. Settles it down. If you go too high with it, it'll squirt rock everywhere. Well, that concludes the fun for today. I ran it for about 2.5 hours. You can see it did a great job on plowing. And look at the wall. So it's about 19 degrees out, and the propane did an excellent job. It never faltered once. The propane tank was literally white with frost because of the transition from liquid to gas, and the regulator was completely frosted as well. But you can clearly see what happened out here. I mean, it is nuts. I mean, we had full leaves on the tree. In fact, you can see the one tree up there in the front on the left there. It's still got a bunch of leaves on it. And all of a sudden we got this snowstorm that's going to go on for about a week, I guess. And the leaves just fell right off the trees. I mean, it's just been a mess out here. But you can see this thing did a great job for 2.5 hours of run time. I mean, it is... Look at the berm on this thing. Did a great job. All right, guys, that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. I'll have more videos. For those FPV guys out there, I got the Fat Shark shark bite system coming. So I got a couple of receivers. You know, I got a regular receiver, the 20x20, plus a surprise. So that's coming up as well. All right, guys, have a great night.